Dark Ages were written in the Victorian era.
No, man, the point simply is that, I mean, India was a far richer country when Europeans came to India, and it was not just the British sucking on Indian kids. The Portuguese were there, the French were there, chopping away different parts of India, and sucking up to all the natural resources, the jewelry, the gems, the gold, and most importantly, they shut down the Indian education system. They shut down the Indian mathematical sciences. They shut down the Indian astronomical schools. They shut down the Indian medicinal schools. All the herbs and etc. were transferred by the Portuguese through several books. The Jesuit monks came and studied the Indian math, took it to Europe. It actually also traveled to Europe through Arabia, which is how we know how to count today. Otherwise, we'd be doing Greek and Roman numeral system, which is X, C, I. This is the civilization that Shay is talking about. I mean, I can go on and on, but for now, I agree with the lady who was speaking before that Islam has a parasitical problem with how they treat women. But I guess the counter argument would be that every other civilization is going to go down to Islam because they are losing control of their women, unfortunately. So we don't have to be like Islam, but unless you become a conservative country, and unless you have placed enough emphasis on marriage and children, every society is going to go down to Islam. There's no other way out. You cannot be liberal and defeat Islam. That's not how you.
I have a question. Yeah, Shiva, do you think that the West could have a sufficiently good assimilation program such that Islam could figure out how to coexist in the West? A moderate Islam, right? A changed, reformed Islam that would benefit from a real program of Western assimilation of non-Westerners.
No, Islam is impossible to change. Islam, in its DNA, is designed for dominance. It comes from the desert. The religions of the desert, all of them, but Islam in particular, have the tendency to dominate. They are tribalistic, and their goal is not a spiritual goal. So they will do what they do. They will fight jihad. They will take women as slaves. They will rape. They will torture until everybody kills each other. And even within Islam, they have all these fights. The reality is, the moment you recognize Islam as not being a religion, that is the only way to deal with it. Then you can kick them out, which is what it should be. There is no other way to deal with Islam, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. Islam will never modernize. They're strict in their religion. They're strong in their religion. Even their laws of the land is influenced by their religion. So.
Yeah, just to be clear, I'm not a white nationalist, even though Seamus is. Just clear the distinction there.
I don't like Muslims are familiar. He's also an anti-Semite, you know that, right, Sam?
I know.
Like a virulent one.
Yeah. He wants to be kicked out of America. I know.
He wants you kicked out of America, or he wants to be kicked out?
He wants me to be kicked out of America because I'm Jewish. He doesn't trust us Jews. He wants a homeland for the whites. You know what I mean? I'm not allowed in there because I'm a Jew.
Oh, they got a few of those Sweden. All types of stuff.
Yeah, I always tell Shamos that if there's going to be an ethno-nationalist country in America, it should be for the Native Americans, and that if he wants a white ethno-state, he should go back to Europe and form one there.
Yeah, I'm all for Germany being a white nationalist country. I'm all for UK being a white nationalist country.
You're funny.
But not in the US. Not in Australia. Not in New Zealand, and not in Chile, and not in countries that whites never were part of. These are immigrant countries.
Go back to Germany and form the Fourth Reich. Like I'm happy about that. I'm German anyway, so I'm ready to go home. This place is fun. Let the Indians have it.
Absolutely. Please do so.
Guys, stick on the topic. Islam is right about women.
Yeah, so my earlier point was about Islam, right? So the thing is, you cannot defeat Islam through democracy, and you cannot defeat Islam through free elections and secularism and liberalism. There are two ways of defeating Islam, in my opinion. One, you kick them out of your countries and keep them where they are. Let them do their own thing, whatever they want to do, but in their own countries. The other way to defeat Islam is by marrying, having children, having enough children that demographically dominate Islam. Because they will win the demographic battle sooner or later, and they will replace every country's native population with their own. So the problem is in the West and everywhere else, women are so independent, they don't want to get married anymore, and there's no children, and because there's no children, Islam will take over. As simple as that.
Islam will take over. And what forced the women to marry? And then it's going to be a huge thing where women will also rebel. Right? The number one weapon for women is food and herbs. Poison you. We'll just poison you. That's what's going to happen next.
Yeah, Shiva, here's my question for you. Why don't we just give the Muslims TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris and just get them kind of deconvert? Why don't we just make them degenerate like us? You know what I mean? They have no intellectual immune system to fight against the degeneracy of TikTok, which is just so potent that it will just win.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but and that's happening to some extent. And you see a bunch of ex-Muslims emerge out of the internet. But the point is, their brainwashing process begins so soon in life. They are 3 years old when they start reciting the Quran and going to the religious schools. By 5, by 7, they already know the Quran in and out. I mean, that's a different degree of brainwashing that we cannot compete with.
Oh, they brainwashed them from when they were babies. That's genius.
Yeah, I don't think there is a religion that's beating Islam when it comes to brainwashing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Imagine having the audacity to kill people for leaving your religion. Imagine just the sheer audacity of that. Bro, you're a cult. You're not even a fucking religion, bro.
That's why you couldn't fault me when I said they're animals. You couldn't fault me for that.
I'm not faulting you.
No, you can't say they're animals. That's wrong.
If they marry off children as long as you get your first period, you're getting married off to an old Muslim man. That's animalistic.
Yeah, they got some issues.
It's to the point where you will have to lie to your mom or try to hide your period. Imagine me being a woman and I know once I get my period, I'm going to get married. I would lie to my parents, no, I didn't get it yet. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's a good point, Red. Thank you. I think you're making some good points.
I agree.
Yeah, but Christianity is still crazy.
Here we go.
No, it's not. Yeah, Christianity, especially Catholicism, is a good tool for fighting against all things after.
But Red, don't let him pull one over. He's trying to do a whataboutism policy. You were talking about Islam, which is a real issue, and he's saying, what about Christianity? What about Christ, the second commandment? We see through your tactics.
Are we seeing right through them, bro?
Jewish people, yeah, they have their flaws, but Jewish people are not marrying children. Christians have their flaws, but they're not marrying children. Why is your religion marrying children?
So, Red, are you saying that Arabs are animals, or are you saying that Muslims are animals?
The religion Muslim is animalistic.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, that's easy.
Arabs, I don't know. I don't know too much about Arabs, but Arabs are Muslim, aren't they?
No, Arabs is the...
Yeah.
Arab is the race, and Islam is the religion.
I mean, it's like studying parent drilling. It's like a distinction without the difference.
Yeah, it's
You know that saying, potato. That's exactly.
Yeah. Unless they converted, unless you're like an Arab that's Christian or something.
Okay, so you can distinguish them. Okay, yeah. So you think it's the religion that's the animals, not the race, which is, I think, I commend you for that, because you can't change your race, but you can change your religion. So.
Yeah, the religion is influencing the bad behavior. The religion is telling them marry children. The religion is telling them, oh, if your wife is caught with shorts, you have the right to take her out of the house in the woods somewhere and kill her, and you're gonna go to heaven when you kill your wife. Like, yeah, that's really the religion.
Yeah, that's a bad religion.
So I guess I hear what everyone's saying, especially the point about like what is in the DNA of Islam. I guess I don't know if this is optimism or pessimism, but I guess from a legalistic perspective, because I come from a legal tradition that has successfully reformed itself many times, I just can't believe that there aren't those mechanisms within the jurisprudence if there was the will, right? I understand that point, that you're telling the political nature of Islam and et cetera, et cetera. Those are all very good points. It seems to me there are mechanisms there. If there was a will, there are ways to do it.
Right. But like, let's not detract from Red's main point. Like, I appreciate what you're saying, Caleb. It's like fine, but like, I think Red's point should really be centered here. Like, we should amplify female voices who speak out against abuse of Islamic animals.
I agree.
Like, Red, what else do you think about like how Islam treats women? Like, what else? What are some more thoughts on that?
The fact that you're going to God, right? Like they'll have a mosque and you're going to God. There's segregation in the church.
Yes.
Segregation in the church is crazy to me.
That's right.
I don't know in the synagogue there's segregation in the church, in the synagogue. I don't know.
It's not front and back like that. Absolutely not. They would either
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying you're making the women feel like they are nothing. Like you're making them feel like they are nothing.
We've got one more count. One more count that we could do
babies.
Clubhouse.
That's how you're making the women feel like they are nothing.
Zephyr, Red, what is your accent?
Huh?
What is your accent?
To acknowledge
even if you view him as an outsider of his community, which I don't think he
Damn it, you keep running with that narrative.
Okay.
It's almost like what I guess it's like once a narrative like is implanted, it's hard to be dissuaded from it. What if we listen to the audio of them not saying one word about whether they can speak on it, and then we heard.
They kicked me. Thank God. That was like 6 for 6 cloudhouse kicks.
And the Texas governor had to weigh in and kind of cancel the plan. Only Muslims were supposed to live in that community of 400 acres. Here.
Did you guys hear that story about how like an entire subcontinent was like going to be reserved exclusively for Hindu? And like not only definite days.
Here comes the
India, subcontinent.
Rose of Pakistan.
I'm fucking crying. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I just feel like the religion could be much better because it really, when I say they make women feel like nothing, that's just one aspect of it. In their Quran, they say that the men will go to heaven and they'll have 1,000,000 virgins. You're fucking in heaven? Okay, let that sink in. All the men will go to heaven and they will be granted, like they said, 7,000 virgins or something.
72, don't exaggerate.
Yeah, like 72, whatever virgins, right? And then when you ask for what will happen with the women, they're like, oh, we don't know. we leave it to God. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying?
To the virgins or something.
And then when you talk to the women, they be like, "Oh, we pray day and night because we don't know where we're gonna end up." But the men know where they're gonna end up, though.
Instead of Pussy Town, like first stop Pussy Town. You know what I mean? Like that's,
yeah, it's like the men will end up in heaven and they're gonna be fucking 72 virgins, though.
You know what they'll do? They're gonna stack, some of the women on top of each other. So they're gonna go like, whoop, whoop, like they're gonna like have like a little tower.
You can't tell me that's a godly religion. You cannot tell me that. This is a man-made religion.
Hello?
Yeah, when I think of things that men would come up with, I would never imagine men would come up with.
Hello?
Oh, you get to fuck lots of hot virgin women when you die.
Yeah, what's this talking
men
about?
would never come.
The title is Rape. I don't know. Can you read?
I don't know. I think how old are they?
Yeah, it says rape in Islamic countries and India.
Oh, you become the slave of some Arab guy. Regret the
You're a slave, and when you're living, you're a slave, and you're dead. He can't win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood the female suicide bomber. I get the male why he's killing himself, but why is the female killing herself?
It's like, oh, I get to be some guy's part of a guy's harem. Yay!
Yeah, no, the women definitely have to devalue themselves. It's so sad. This work has to go down.
I think the virgins, I think that my current understanding is that the so-called virgins are going to be like pea-zombies or something. An actual.
They're gonna be zombies.
More like V-zombies, am I right?
That's right.
I mean, Islam is literally like if you ask like a horny 12-year-old to come up for it.
Okay, so much pussy. So many pussy.
Like, I can't wait to go to heaven. I'm gonna get so many vaginas. It's sick. This is a sickness.
I go to heaven and I check out like how the Arabs are doing, and they're like out there like, oh, welcome to my pussy paradise, bro.
Welcome to my pussy time.
Can you bring this warrior up, please?
Warrior Freedom thinks that women become men when they go to heaven. So
That's insane.
Where the fuck do the virgins come from then? What the hell?
We'll have Warrior speak for himself about whether the women become men.
The women turn into men in heaven. So that means you're also saying that your God made a mistake. Like, he's just making women for what reason? So they can turn into men eventually? Like, this is what, it's not making no sense.
No, he made the women so that way you can spread more. And then when you die, you come back as a man. Yeah.
There's a YouTube video of a Pakistani imam describing what the virgins look like in heaven, and it's 1 hour long. That's a 1 hour long video on YouTube.
What do they look like? They're just like super hot.
Apparently they're translucent. Their bodies are so
So I can see
translucent.
their like veins and shit.
Yeah, you can see their veins.
What? Oh hell yeah!
Do you like jellyfish? Do you like fucking jellyfish? What?
Something like that. They're huge. There's really tall.
You can see that bone marrow. It's in the hadith.
Well, that's how you know that they're not pregnant, is you can see into their womb. And you're like, oh, this girl's a virgin. She's fertile. Can directly detect my eyeballs. Because here's how you do it. You go to heaven, and you impregnate the 17 new women, and then once they all pop out the babies, you just impregnate them again, and that's how you make all the new souls. And those souls, then that's how the Earth population is growing. They need new souls. So these translucent women in heaven are the factories for the souls of future people. Sweet.
I honestly don't believe you're having sex in heaven anyway.
Wait, why can't you get Kuntang in heaven? Really?
It's a sin or some shit. I don't know.
Wait, you think it's a sin? Yo, you're in heaven. Why can't you?
It's no sex in heaven. I don't think so.
No, you're getting your dick wet.
There's no way. Because remember, you're supposed to be pure. Like, you're pure as hell.
No.
Like, you're pure.
Yeah. You're getting your dick wet on the rig.
I'm telling you, there's none of that going down.
You tell me,
I wonder how it works with like Christianity and marriage in heaven. Like, what if you marry somebody? Like, are you married in heaven? And let's assume yes. What if you become like? What if your spouse dies and then you remarry? Are you married to both of them in heaven?
In heaven, you are eternal. You are eternal life. Like you're not dying anymore. You're in heaven.
Stop eating the cats and dog.
You're a soul. You're like a
Aren't you
soul.
married to Jesus? Then when you get to heaven,
Yeah, when you get to heaven, you're just praising God or something all day. I don't know.
Sounds boring.
Yeah, I think you got turned into women in this Christianity actually.
and then he married Jesus.
It's the complement to Islam.
What's so wrong about like having sexual intercourse in heaven? Like everyone like looks sort of like genuinely. I'm wondering, why is it impure? Like why is it necessarily impure?
Because sex is for bearing children. You're not creating children in heaven.
No, under Islam, sex isn't just for creating children. It's just like an act of love and pleasure.
Okay.
Go
commit sin. Go commit sin in heaven then. I don't know. You guys, I don't know.
Like, it's not impure under like a paradigm. But it's just like I feel like this whole like in Islam like you guys like have sex in heaven. It's like it's a very emotional argument. People appeal to emotion all the time, but like I don't see
Sex with New Earth
a
is heaven.
rational argument against it.
The idea is that like it's not necessarily that like having sex in heaven is bad. It's that this idea that like the highest kind of form of good is to actually have virgins like cater to your every need, not to actually have like human relationships with another like sort of person that you love.
I was saying sex with virgins in heaven now.
Virgins, right? It just even that sex is pleasurable. It's going to be like pretty impersonal, not the kind of thing you associate with like divine heavenly love.
I just have.
Oh hey Ludwig, how you doing, big guy?
We all fucked up anyway. Because the first, they said in the Christian religion, the first man you have sex with, that's your husband. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's your husband, whatever, right? So imagine I go to heaven and my husband is in hell. I cannot have sex with another man that's not my husband. There's no sex going on in heaven. It's considered a sin. Like, I don't know.
No, but you understand the point I was trying to make. That's why people like find it a bit absurd, right? The idea that
I get it, but it's not the only kind of reward that we get to experience in heaven.
Like God is gonna watch our fucks.
It's one aspect. So
it's like people just do like to. I mean, it's partly it's a mockery, right? So it's going to exaggerate like the perceived the most serious parts of it, right, and ignore the rest. I mean, it's not really a serious argument against Islam, I suppose. It's just more of a.
I don't think it's a serious argument. It's like an abductive argument. It's just like
Get in my way again. Touch me again, and
isn't it conceivable that God is also appeal to these the audience that he is by invoking things that they would want in heaven.
No. Said you knew how to do this.
No, the other thing is, on earth, wine is forbidden in Islam.
Get in my way again.
Wine flows freely. I mean, I don't get that, the logic there. How is it that you can drink all the wine you can, heaven, and not around, but on earth it's around?
That's what I'm talking about.
Doesn't matter like wine being sort of bad distraction from like worshiping God, and because we're here in earth to worship God, but then in the afterlife, like the bad effects of wine are not for like alcohol, will not actually, because in heaven there's nothing bad, so you'll be able to enjoy the taste or whatever without the bad effects.
But in the Christian religion, God turned the whole sea into wine, and people were worshiping Him with wine and bread and worshiping God. That's what I'm saying. It's an excuse. It's an excuse for men to have no discipline. Oh, I'm going to get so drunk that I'm going to forget God Almighty. Anyways, I want to hear the Jewish version of your heaven. Like, what does it say in the Torah about going to heaven?
So when I go to heaven,
I will sketch your soulmate.
This guy had no views. I can roll around in that my soap instead of it being like I have a $100 bill loop bills, and I can rub all over my body. And then I go, everywhere I go out, the bank on every street corner, you know what I mean? And then they're like, oh, welcome, Sam. You want a loan? And then I just go, yes, sir. It's like,
I'm serious.
That's right.
I'm serious, Sam. Like,
yeah, that's my heaven. That's what the Torah says. I'm not
And
going to
it's
go by the
Hanukkah
Torah.
every day as well. Every day is Hanukkah.
Yeah, exactly. And there's people spinning dreidels in the streets, and they're gambling on it.
Freshly green Allah bread is like pretty close to heaven.
Yes.
Dreidel. I remember that song when I was a kid.
And then in every town, there's like a silly goy that we all get to trick, do like practical jokes on. We like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like we made you sign a contract that was like not to your favor. Like, gotcha. Like we like, oh, like, like, you know, like it's just like it's fun for everyone in the town.
You think there will be Holocaust museums there?
Oh no, there's no Holocaust museums.
Oh shit. And what about the women in heaven, the Jewish women?
Lots of body hair. Do they
get to take off their wigs now?
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of hair going on in general. You got the mustache, you got the armpit hair, you just got the happy trail. Like it's just women get to be us Jewish women get to go be free, baby.
There's no Holocaust museums, but there are like lots of Palestinian encampments that you can bomb, right?
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I mean, those two just need to learn how to get along. Yeah, that's it.
That's true.
Do you reckon they'll still attack each other like in heaven as well? Same way as well,
Well, I suspect the Palestinians are going to be burning in hell.
And that's the reason why y'all arguing in our Bible is just the reason why y'all having this fight. It's going to be funny, but the reason why y'all having this fight is because this is what happens when men want to be poly and they want to have two wives. One wife, I forget the guy's name. One wife, his wife was, I guess, Muslim or Arabic or something, and then Sarah was a Jewish lady. And he impregnate both of them. He impregnate the Jewish woman, and he impregnate the Muslim woman. And those children were brothers. And ever since then, those two brothers been fighting forever because they're like, oh, my mom is Muslim and your mom is Jewish, but we have the same father. And they just never liked each other. And that's why Israel and fucking Palestine are fighting till this day. That's exactly why.
Well, I think it's because the Muslim Palestinians have a belief system that causes them to be more violent than is reasonable. And then whenever you have
y'all are related and y'all fighting.
The Jews are getting attacked, whilst the Muslims are going on jihad. They have like a scimitar in hand. They're like, oh, let's kill these Jews. And then the Jews like try to not get killed. And then everyone in the world's like, oh my god, look at these two people fighting. Oh my god. Like you guys are like total retards. Like imagine just this kid every time he goes to school gets a wedgie from a bully, and then like everyone, and then the principal's like, oh, you kids keep fighting with each other. Like you guys are such dicks.
But you guys been fighting since thousands of years. You guys took a break. It's been thousands of years. This is not a
and so we're gonna keep fighting.
Not a Jew saying God isn't real.
Yeah, because the reason why Jews say that is because Jews are smarter on average than other populations, and so they are more likely to see through the bullshit of religion. What?
As an American citizen, I carry guns everywhere I go. Across state lines, I don't give a crap. I don't even look at the laws. And I may wind up in prison one day. I don't freaking know, but I don't care because I will not obey a law that violates my right to keep and bear arms. And here's the second thing for you listeners. If you do not carry a gun as an American citizen, every single day, everywhere you go, you are neglecting your duty as an American citizen. You are failing to exercise your rights. And actually, I would go as far as to say one of your most important rights. So if you are carrying a gun, if you listen to this, look at yourself right now. If you are not carrying a gun, or you are not within arm's reach of a gun.
So I go to synagogue sometimes. I celebrated Passover.
But your God is Yeshiva. Yeah, Yeshiva, Jehovah, something.
No, I mean, my God isn't real because.
And then you don't celebrate Hanukkah?
Oh, I get the dreidel out. I get the menorah out.
You believe in God's sound.
No, because I just don't think there's like a disembodied consciousness that can create the universe. I think the universe just is. I think it's just one big thing.
Your parents would slap the shit out of you if they were together.
Well, they could try, but they're like in their late 70s, so I would just fucking block all their strikes easily. It would be like, block, block, block. It's like not gonna work, you know?
And then you lose track of the butts, right? Money on the ground.
Yeah, like boom. It's like instead of a smoke bomb, it's like a coin bomb, you know? And like that's how you escape from any different Jewish predicament you're in. You just throw your coin bomb down, and then it causes a
It's like Borat. Exciting from the
just pandemonium in Tel Aviv. Like, oh my God, there's coins everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Having Jewish friends is lit. Like, they always have money. I remember one time I told one of my besties, but she's Israeli. Israeli is still a Jew. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna get money for my rent, but I'm kind of late on my rent. She goes in her trunk and pulls out money, like a bunch of money. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a loan, and you're gonna pay me back. And I'm like, this fucking Jewish girl. I said, who takes money out of this girl?
Got their head.
I'm telling you, they're crazy.
I think this is the one where I said retribution is an important component of justice. It serves as a powerful deterrent, and it makes the victim whole. So I am all about retribution, and so I've said that very publicly for many, many months. And I take great joy in retribution right now, because these are the same Democrats that went after pro-life Christian elderly people who were praying at abortion clinics, and parents who were outraged by gender chaos in schools. You know, I mean, they went after you too, Steve, but you're a big boy. But you know, when you're going after elderly pro-life Christians, 75-year-old Christians, and putting them in prison, and parents because their daughters are getting raped in high school bathrooms, they can go to hell, all of them.
And they've really singled out in this article the law firms and the universities, which we think both are fantastic. But give me, you have some quotes in there that are quite controversial. I know this is surprising given it's the Viceroy. What do you say in this article that's got their head?
Nazi fucking punk. What are you gonna do? Go fuck yourself. You're on my fucking campus with that fucking hat on. Actually, get the fuck out of here. It's actually a public street. Get the fuck out of here. I don't care, you fucking Nazi. This is a public street. Get the fuck off my campus. I'm gonna walk you all the way to this fucking corner, you punk. You fucking understand me? Who are you? You fucking understand me? It doesn't fucking matter. You fucking Nazi punk. Get this fucking camera on my fucking face. For what? Get this fucking camera on my face. For what? Take your fucking fascist hat off. Would your union like that? Would your union like that? You see this? I know every union guy in this town. Get the fuck out of here. I know. Fucking support unions, you fucking. I know every union leader. On your fucking Snapchat? What are you, 35? You fucking cocksucker? I'm 35. Take that fucking hat off. You understand me? Take it off. Take it off, you Nazi fucking bootlicker. Nazi fucking bootlicker. Don't be on my fucking campus with that Nazi fucking hat on. You fucking understand me, you cocksucker? I'm loving this. Look at this fucking Nazi. 47. This guy supports Trump. Has his fucking hat on. Look at this. I can't wait till your foreman sees this. Get the fuck out of here. I can't wait. You think they support you? Get the fuck out of here, you cocksucker. You're a fucking Nazi punk. Nazi fucking punk. Yeah, you're a fucking Nazi punk. Is what you are. Take your gay fucking white gold Trump hat off.
Trump, 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 Trump. Guy tried to kick down this guy's door and kill them and rape his daughter, so he decided to blast that fucker. And he's outside dying in the fucking driveway crying. God, people are so stupid. It's unbelievable. God, Elon Musk. He has made the world of roasting, trolling, and revenge on these evil pieces of shit.
Power in the wall. Kicks him in the throat, kicks him in the face, stomps him on the head.
Dr. Australia, welcome back.
the women have to be wearing women garments and not wear pants and stuff. We're supposed to do that too, but we don't listen, and we're rebellious, and that's probably why we're not as blessed. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause y'all really strict with the Torah. Like, y'all really follow the rules of God. The 10 Commandments, all of that is still the same. Everything is the same. The only difference about Jewish and Christian is fucking Jesus Christ. That's the only time we're gonna fight. But other than that, we're practically cousins. To be honest.
You work at a fake hospital?
To be honest.
Shit. Is Hanukkah fake? Are people just pretending to be this stupid? Is that what's happening? I've been told.
Yeah, it is the same, but they believe in Solomon, just like we do. Y'all have Solomon, y'all have Abraham, y'all have everything the Bible has. Jesus Christ.
Nobody here is religious. I mean, nobody here is said to be.
No, I'm just saying, like in the Torah and the Bible, I could just laughable because when I read the Bible, I'm like, that's crazy. We have the same things.
Yeah, but when you tell Sam that like it's doesn't matter to him because he thinks they're both equally absurd.
Well, Sam will go back into his Jewish ways soon.
It's easy to
He's going through a phase.
have faith in something. Otherwise, you'd have to stare into the abyss.
I mean, the only Jewish ways that he's adopted is the bombing of Palestine.
I mean, I know that part, and I get it. They just, I don't know. Jewish people never want to be civil. They always want to be a bully. Y'all always want to be a bully.
I don't want to be a bully. What do you mean?
Leave these Gaza people alone.
No, the Gaza people gotta stop blowing themselves up. It's suicide terrorism, bro. If I was your next door neighbor and I was constantly blowing shit up, you wouldn't be like, oh, okay, bro, that's cool, bro.
I don't know. I think y'all started it first.
It's just a basic failure of empathy to see someone who's getting attacked and then be like, oh, just get over it, bro. That's not how you would feel.
So your people didn't start it first. Y'all didn't start it.
Yeah, correct. We didn't start it.
Such a liar.
What the fuck are you talking about? First off, the Jews have lived in that part of the world, in Judea, since like 1000 BC. So I was like, step one. Step two is like, yes, we made a country in 48 that all the Arab nations around attacked. We didn't start that shit.
No,
wait. Did you attack us?
No, Arad is right. The Jews did start it. Like they blew trumpets outside the city of Jericho for like 7 days straight. The walls came tumbling down. Thought all began.
Shut up! Stop, yo. The saints are marching, and that's a song. You know, that's a Christian song. You are a clown.
You're Christian, Red?
Yeah. We're the neutral party.
Neutral.
Neutral to what?
Everybody, right?
We're the neutral party. We're trying to get Jews and Muslims together. We're trying to get. It's a chaos. It's chaos.
Yeah, but that's just one way of looking at things.
Yeah, the good news is that's not going to happen. It's in the DNA of these three religions.
That's why we're neutral.
It's in the DNA of these three religions to fight each other until the end of time. So enjoy the show.
It is a big show.
It's a bloody show. Like, this is ridiculous now.
Right, don't you think things are fucked up here too?
What, in America?
In the world, things that happen in the world, just
just certain fucked up shit that happens.
Yeah, but it's human. It's human.
You could be born. You could be spawned.
What's with all the phones? I don't know. Why do people use phones all the time? They're doing something on them.
Jaguars, leopards, and go out that way. You did nothing wrong.
I mean, nature versus.
Right, but I'm just saying it's ugly though, right? Like it can be.
Yeah, but it's like a dog. A dog is gonna do dog things, but the dog doesn't. The dog wasn't blessed with You see how we could with our knowledge and stuff like that. Like we could stop it. Like as human beings, we could stop all of this. We could stop the war. We could stop nonsense, but we just don't want to. So it's like.
Can we though?
You can't. Nature is always gonna do its thing, but as human beings.
But what if nature, out of nature, came, those that will never learn?
Well, the human should put those people in a jail or some shit.
We already do that. But yeah, it's like it sucks. It seems unfair, man. So that's why people say, well. I like it, like the experience on Earth, it's great. I'm fortunate to have my family and people I love in my life. But then I also acknowledge the ugly side, so it's kind of like more of a purgatory.
Well, I traveled, and all I can say is that out of all the countries, I feel like women and children are the safest in America. Because you're not getting married off at 8 years old to old men. You're not getting, you know what I'm saying? Like the way they treat women. There's women in Afghanistan and other places crying because they can't go to school because that's the law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, America has its flaws, but if it comes to safety as a woman, I feel like you're safe in America because.
But there's less. I'd say out on a limb, I'd wager that in Islam, there's maybe that's not even accurate to say, but at least I get the propaganda that says, there's no pornography because it's forbidden. There's less scandalous shit going on over there. She just did. But am I right though? Am I right? You're right.
You also got pork, which you gotta fight with pesticides.
So how do you feel about Islam in a liberal, Western democracy? Meaning that if you are anti-wokeism, I mean, isn't Islam the easy option, and that's why Andrew Tate, picks Islam because it's just the easy version of philosophy and social desirable norms, which is essentially women are property and not political or they don't have major roles in society. They're just baby manufacturing plants and cooks.
Let's hear that bass tape. I'll answer, I guess. You see, there's some smart women out there in the world,
No, obviously. I'm just saying that Andrew Tate is like the poster boy of.
Their potential never becomes realized. That would be a sad thing. Because the mind is a terrible thing to waste. So now I don't think, Islam, like I said, I imagine there's less perversion, or that's the idea, or they're just deluding themselves, and repressing themselves. You see that shit come out in weird ways. But now they should have autonomy. Women should have obviously rights. But at the same time, if you give it to the liberalism you're speaking of, they take that to the extreme and they become like men. They become players. That it's antithetical to a nuclear family, I guess, I suppose. but maybe that's just like a sort of a Western machination. Really, like things have to be this way. You know, thinking maybe
Feminism has destroyed the stability in society. Feminism has destroyed the conservative values in society, and bad actors like Andrew Tate are filling into the vacuum because men have given up their role in society. And if you let feminism go rampant like it's doing today, it'll destroy every country one by one until Islam takes over, because they are the only ones with kids. Nobody else is having kids. So
this is true. Like, until before feminism, like, you know, male Brahmin Hindus had it made, right? And these stupid feminists and like all these other like kinds of equality theorists, right, came along and ruined it for them. No, I feel your pain, Shiva. It's true.
Yeah, I just agree.
They want to be dominated anyway.
I've read of female Buddhists who were radical feminists, and then they came to the realization that they're chronically angry. And so they realize it's a them problem. It's not a social problem. It's not a philosophical problem. It's a them problem. So I just wonder, like, how many feminists who are in their 20s, when they're in their 40s, childless, and have no children or no husband or no house, and maybe a mediocre career in nonprofit administration, you know, will they ever come to the realization that they were wrong in their way of thinking, that they're actually hyper political? I just wonder how many ever actually will. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's.
If only there was a way to like investigate and find out, right, you know, what the number would be, like some kind of, I don't know, statistical method. But that sort of thing sounds like a very woke approach to answering questions, right? Like empirical investigation. And so we're not going to pursue that any further.
Actually, there's a very good study from JP Morgan, where they have predicted that 40% of women in the West are going to be unmarried and childless at the age of 40 or 30 by the year 2030. So, which means almost half the population of women in the West will be childless and unmarried. And they were trying to understand what kind of products will these women buy, what's the market look like, and where should they be focusing the economy, you know? So it's clearly coming, it's happening.
Yeah, how terrible for the males, right? And the women refuse to have sex with them.
Yeah, but
I don't know where you come from, man. Where does this guy come from? Like, what? Are you educated, Deepak?
I came from the same place you did.
He came from Wokistan. That's where he came from.
Yeah. These guys will be the first people to be
ended up in Wokistan. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, when Muslims take over, these are the people whose heads they will chop off the first. You know, the liberals are the one. You know, when Iran was being Islamicized back in the 70s, the first people they killed were the leftists and the communists of Iran, who actually caused the revolution in the first place. Same thing in Bangladesh. They went to the University of Dhaka. They pulled out all the lefties from the university, the professors, and they beheaded them in the 60s in Bangladesh.
That's an excellent argument for why. That's an excellent argument for why we should, you know, adjust our beliefs based on what some crazy people in some countries did.
Yeah, but it wasn't a bunch of Buddhists, now was it? Because Buddhists are usually chanting, studying, doing their routine. They're not engaged in political regime warfare, change, and terrorism, and murder, and rape, and chaos. They're pretty peaceful people, and I think it has to do with what they read. Maybe content and what we consume actually plays a role in how we behave and what we think and what we say and how we communicate. Maybe the Quran, maybe all the Islamic literature and propaganda they put out's a problem. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just a moron.
Are they currently accusing Buddhists? I just want to find out that. Well, I just want to point out there were also the feminist Buddhists that Doge was pointing out to all the angry, crazy, like terrorist ones, right? Like we should exclude them from that, from what you're talking about, right?
Are they currently accusing Buddhists and, I guess, Burma of genociding or otherwise oppressing the Rohingya?
Not really. history of the Rohingya, there's a UN report. The first UN report on Rohingya is when the Rohingya people were going from village to village in Myanmar and raping and killing and maiming the villages of Buddhist local Myanmarese people. Okay? These are the first UN reports, followed by which the local people of Myanmar had enough and they went on a killing spree, a reverse killing spree of the Rohingya people who they kicked out, who were foreigners to begin with in their land. So I can actually link to that report from, I think it's Amnesty International, probably, whoever behaves in any case.
Yeah, the mistake the Rohingya made was not to say like no backsies when they were doing their genocide. Then they would have had no excuse.
I mean, the point is not that the Rohingya are completely historically innocent. That is not the sort of thing that I would believe. It's just that it doesn't seem like Buddhists are exceptionally peaceful in all circumstances.
Nobody said all or nothing, but for the most part, they seem pretty peaceful. No? I mean, opposite and equal reaction, right? I mean, Mark, you're kind of making a dull point when Shiva just told you that it's an opposite and equal reaction. I mean, it's just how could you just pick out one thing and say, "Oh, the Buddhists are genocidal too"? Oh, all the Buddhists are genocidal too. You know how stupid that sounds.
Obviously, okay, you can stop and joke me. First of all, he hasn't actually shown anything.
This app will never end.
If only because they don't control the levers in the military. The other factor is, and this is of course, I'm sure this is not going to be the only example, but there aren't that many Buddhist countries in comparison to Islamic Christian ones, and most of them are going to have.
There's 600 million Buddhists and about 1.1 billion Muslims. It's almost 2 to 1.
I don't actually know. Let me check.
No, I don't believe in this concept of being peaceful when the other person is attacking you. That is not a principle in Buddhism. It's not a principle in Hinduism. In fact, Hindus are known to be very, very violent people when attacked, but they will not take the first action. They will not attack somebody first. Same thing with Buddhists. I mean, go to Sri Lanka. There was a bitter war between the Sinhalese people who were predominantly Buddhists with the Tamil people who were predominantly Hindus, including suicide bombs, right? They used to kill each other, but they didn't kill each other because of their religion. They killed each other because of political reasons and because of language and ethnic conflicts. But once the war was finished, the issue was resolved. Now they live in peace.